Some historical fortunes make today's billionaires look modest. We talk about Elon Musk's $250 billion or Jeff Bezos' empire as if they've reached the peak of wealth, but in the grand scale of history, they might not even come close. Throughout history, rulers, emperors, and industrial titans have controlled systems of wealth, not just businesses. They didn't play the game of money. They designed it. While today's billionaires have power through technology and innovation, history had players who commanded entire economies, empires, and nations. Their wealth was not just influence. It was authority itself. Today, we'll uncover the stories of the richest humans who ever lived, the empires they built, and how their power reshaped civilization itself. Mansa Musa, the emperor who crashed economies. In the 14th century, deep in West Africa, ruled a man whose fortune remains unmatched, Mansa Musa, Emperor of Mali. He didn't just have wealth, he was wealth. When he went on his legendary pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324, he brought an army of 60,000 men, 12,000 slaves, and hundreds of camels carrying gold. Along the way, Musa gave away so much gold that he collapsed entire economies. In Cairo alone, his generosity caused the price of gold to drop for over a decade. Historians estimate his net worth, adjusted for inflation, to be between $400 billion and $500 billion. But it wasn't about gold coins or treasures. Mansa Musa controlled the source of gold itself. Mali's mines supplied more than half of the world's gold at that time. He didn't just own wealth, he defined it. Augustus Caesar, the emperor of the known world 1,000 years earlier, another ruler shaped the world through power and prosperity. Augustus Caesar, the first emperor of Rome. By the time Augustus rose to power, the Roman Empire had become the beating heart of civilization, a system of taxation, trade, and conquest spanning continents. Under his rule, Rome's economy was worth an estimated $4.5 trillion in today's terms. Augustus personally controlled vast territories, state revenues, and gold reserves that made him, effectively, the world's wealthiest man. His personal fortune is estimated at $4.6 trillion, more than the GDP of many modern nations combined. Unlike today's billionaires, Augustus didn't have shareholders or boards. His wealth was absolute. His empire was his company, and his subjects were his workforce. He wasn't rich because he owned property. He was rich because he owned Rome itself. John D. Rockefeller, the man who owned oil. Fast forward to the 19th century, the world is entering the age of oil, and one man rises above them all. John D. Rockefeller. Rockefeller founded Standard Oil, an empire that, at its peak, controlled over 90% of all oil refined in the United States. Through ruthless efficiency and unmatched strategy, he built the first true global monopoly. Every barrel of oil that burned, every lamp that shone, paid tribute to Rockefeller's empire. At his peak, his wealth was equivalent to $400 billion in today's money. But Rockefeller's real genius wasn't just making money, it was creating a system that could generate it endlessly. He controlled pipelines, refineries, transportation routes, and even the prices of his competitors. When he retired, Rockefeller didn't just leave behind a fortune, he left behind the template for modern capitalism. Andrew Carnegie, the Steel King. If Rockefeller controlled oil, Andrew Carnegie controlled steel, the backbone of the industrial world. In the late 1800s, Carnegie built the Carnegie Steel Company, which produced more steel than all of Great Britain combined. When he sold his company to J.P. Morgan in 1901 for $480 million, equivalent to over $350 billion today, he became one of the richest men on earth. But unlike many tycoons, Carnegie believed in the gospel of wealth, the idea that the rich have a moral duty to use their fortunes to improve society. By the time he died, Carnegie had given away over 90% of his wealth, funding thousands of libraries, universities, and foundations around the world. He didn't just build the modern industrial world, he built the institutions that educated it. Akbar the Great, India's empire of gold across the world. In 16th century India, another titan of wealth ruled. Akbar the Great, emperor of the Mughal Empire. During Akbar's reign, India accounted for roughly a quarter of the world's total GDP. The empire's trade in gold, textiles, and spices made it one of the wealthiest civilizations ever recorded. Akbar personally controlled vast territories, tax systems, and a treasury overflowing with jewels and precious metals. His personal wealth is difficult to calculate, but historians place his control at the equivalent of hundreds of billions of dollars. Yet Akbar's greatness wasn't just measured in riches, it was in governance. He built an empire known for its tolerance, innovation, and prosperity. Under Akbar, wealth wasn't hoarded, it was civilization itself. Modern billionaires versus historical power. So how do modern billionaires compare? Elon Musk controls Tesla, SpaceX, and the dreams of Mars, but his influence depends on markets, investors, and governments. Jeff Bezos built the world's largest marketplace, but his reach stops where regulation begins. In contrast, historical figures like Mansa Musa or Augustus Caesar controlled everything: land, resources, armies, and trade routes. Their wealth wasn't held in digital numbers. It was measured in gold, people, and power. They didn't just dominate markets, they were the markets. While today's richest individuals may shape the future, history's wealthiest shaped entire civilizations. The lesson of wealth and power. History teaches us a powerful truth. Wealth is not just about how much you have, it's about what you control. Mansa Musa controlled gold itself. Augustus Caesar ruled an empire's entire economy. Rockefeller mastered the world's energy. Carnegie built the steel that raised modern cities. And Akbar the Great ruled over the richest, most diverse empire of his time. They remind us that true wealth doesn't just accumulate, it creates. It shapes societies, inherits history, and leaves legacies that last for centuries. Today's billionaires may be richer, but history's giants were civilization makers. And their fortunes make today's billionaires look modest.